Hey, Adam, do you have any update on Sam's availability for this week?
The only update I would have is he's supposed to kind of run through all the tests tomorrow morning. So we'll have more information, so we'll be able to plan out a week.
Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
A little thrown off by that. I'm usually used to your injury rundown, Adam, but I just had a follow-up.
Rich, I'm sorry.
You throw me for a loop there, but
I know.
So he's going. He did not have any tests today, Sam. And so you're saying his tests are tomorrow, and what
Correct.
then? I mean, if he passes the test, then does he start?
Yeah, I mean, if he gets cleared, he'll start.
Mark from the Post, your line is active.
Hey, Adam, I'm wondering, as you kind of look at what you've been trying to do to handle all this adversity the last few weeks, is there anything that you look at now that you might try differently, or that you wish you'd tried, or whatever it may be? I know you've been pressing as many buttons as you can at this point.
I mean, there's nothing I look back on and say, I wish I would have done this over that. I think really, at the end of the day, our guys are working hard at practice. There's a lot of good things going on in certain phases. We just haven't really put three phases together. We definitely have a lot of room to grow on offense, and we just haven't gotten to the point we need to yet. Like we're having the one-offs. We're having, hey, this guy and this guy are making a mistake, or this guy and this guy is making a mistake, and it's a different guy, and we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot too often, and it's really screwing up our drives and putting us in bad position and putting us in third and longs, and we're not getting anything going, and there's no consistency, and there's just a lot of, we have to just keep going to work, putting our head down, and finding ways to come together as 11 guys on offense. If we can do that, that's where we're going to have consistency within our drives.
Brian from the Post, your line is active.
After watching the film, Adam, did anything look different to you than you thought watching it live offensively yesterday?
No, what I said was pretty, that's what it was. We took our turns, whether it was quarterback not getting the ball out on time, we busted a route, the O-line not using the protection the right way. There was a couple calls where there's no one open. I mean, it was, and when I say that, it is what they ran on defense wasn't ideal for what we called. So I mean, we all took our turns as far as being part of that sack number. It's not pretty. I mean, it was just a bad performance on the offensive side.
Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
Can you go down the other injuries, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, really the only one was Henry. And right now it's going to be, it's a week-to-week deal. I mean, it's just going to have to see kind of how he feels, just seeing him kind of walking around today. He's obviously in pain. It's going to be about how does he feel as we go through the week, and if he doesn't feel as though he can go out there and perform at the level that he needs to perform at, then he'll miss a game.
Matt from NJ Advanced Media, your line is active.
Yeah, Adam, so after the game yesterday, when you were talking about the sacks, you mentioned a few times receivers kind of not running the right route. Le'Veon, after the game, mentioned guys getting to the line of scrimmage and not really being clear on their responsibilities at times as well. I mean, how concerning is that, just the confusion kind of breaking the huddle there? Because obviously if things are going wrong before the ball is even snapped, the likelihood of a play going right seems pretty low.
Yeah, it's really, that's the worst possible thing that can happen when you're running a play, is there's doubt or confusion. And, it's whether it's, hey, the play call wasn't right, it's not registering as far as who's doing what and how we're doing it. That's where we just got to keep grinding on it. We got to keep studying it. We got to keep walking through it. We got to keep practicing it. I mean, that's the only way that you can get these type of things ironed out. I mean, we got to keep looking at, you know, what we're doing and what adjustments we need to make and who's doing it, and we just got to find the right formula for us.
Manish from the Daily News, your line is active.
Adam, just to piggyback on that, how is it that guys aren't lining up in the right place? Is that like a disconnect with coaching, or is it just the player not understanding a specific play? Because it's week 5, these guys, other than Demarius, have been around, you know, for the better part of months. So you know, why did that happen? I mean, Demarius has even been in your scheme for a while, and it seemed like he was a little unsure a couple times as well yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really had an alignment issue. It's really been more about the details of the routes and kind of the technique that they should use. And I mean, it just that's part of football. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you're in the system. I mean, it just, you get it cleaner and cleaner and cleaner as the longer you're together and the more you rep it. We're just having these one-offs where we're not doing a good job of executing the details.
Mark from the Post, your line is active.
Adam, I just wonder 2 things actually. What are your expectations for Herndon and Copeland when they get back? I mean, do you think they'll be able to contribute right away? And just as a follow-up question, is this just as simple as not having Sam in there offensively, or is there more to this?
I think with the Herndon and Copeland thing, it's going to be more about getting them out of practice, kind of seeing where they're at. You know, obviously you get an exemption when those guys come back. We're just going to kind of see how that works out. That's day to day. I mean, I wish I had a great answer for you, but I won't know until we get them out of practice. And yeah, I mean, it's probably more than just Sam getting out there. We got a lot of other things to clean up. Sam's able to hide things sometimes for us, where he can, you know, if we make a mistake, he covers it up. I think we just need to do a better job as a group, you know, making sure that we're all 11 on the same page.
Brian from the Post, your line is active.
Adam, do you expect to have CJ at practice Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, that's one that we're still kind of waiting on to see. You know, I think we're close. I'm just not sure how close we are.
We'll take a couple more questions. Rich from ESPN, your line is active.
I have a 2-part question on the offensive line. It looked like yesterday's issues were mainly against 4-man rushes. So what was the deal with that? And then secondly, just from an overall 4-game standpoint, what are the major issues for this offensive line? They didn't suddenly forget how to block, I don't think, or had they just deteriorated, you know, age-wise? Or so that would be the second part of the question. Over the 4 games, what's going on? And then yesterday with the 4-man rushes.
Yeah, it's just the 4-man rushes. When you go max protection and you get a 4-man rush, there's a good chance all your guys are going to be covered, and now you got 2 really good pass rushers working pick games and things like that, and get guys on different levels, and they find a crack in the line and they exploit it. And you know, we had a couple of those. We had a couple we didn't use our help very good. We had a couple where we just had some flat out misses. A couple of them where we busted a route, we didn't get the ball out. I mean, we took our turns as far as what we were doing, and you know, overall it's just we just haven't played very well. You know, there's just no way around it. We just haven't played very good, you know, as an offense in general.
Last question from Connor from The Athletic. Your line is active.
Adam, I was wondering if there's a specific reason why you guys are testing Sam on Tuesday as opposed to Monday. Because I think he had said throughout this whole mono ordeal he's had tests every single Monday. So why the switch up? I'm just going off what the doctors have told me. So, I mean, it's hard for me to give you a good reason. I mean, I'm just going off what they want to do.